Hello everyone, welcome. Thanks for joining me. So today's topic is about the fertility diet, in fact some fertility diet tips, because I'm learning that people are struggling just a little bit with their fertility diet. I've recently heard of some areas where our clients and our customers are being challenged by things that we suggest that they eat on their fertility diet. So I wanted to go over these 6 different areas just because I figured if someone's struggling, maybe someone else is, give you some tips and hopefully simplify things just a little bit. So it's really not a hard diet to follow. It's a fairly all-inclusive diet, but it still poses to some challenges for some people. So the first question that I have to share is, what if the food you suggest is not available in the area that I live? Because we're an internet company, we are all over the web, and we work with couples from everywhere, all over the world. And we understand that there are different diets out there. There are different foods available in different countries and in different times of the year. Essentially, my answer to this, what if you suggest a food that's not available to me? My answer is eat what is. I know that that's really sort of really vague, but it's okay to eat what is available to you. Focus on eating locally grown, really clean, whole foods, organic whole foods, perhaps even eating seasonally, things that are available in the season that you are. For example, it's beginning to be, we're nearing fall where I live, and so lots of stone fruits are available, apples are available, squash, pumpkin, watermelon, some greens, fall greens like kale and chard and spinach, those things are still available. Green beans, tomatoes everywhere. So try to eat seasonally as well. You can also substitute ingredients that we call for in our recipes. It's completely fine. If you don't have one vegetable, you can add more of one that you like. The ultimate goal is to have you eating a variety of whole foods. Eat the colors of the rainbow we suggest. So in your daily fertility diet, include lots of fruits and veggies, lots of whole grains, lots of fiber, and just make sure you eat a variety of colors of them and things that are available to you. Oftentimes people ask about fertility smoothies. A lot of times we get complaints about smoothies with bananas in them. People just don't like bananas, which kind of makes me giggle, but I understand, and there are people who can be allergic to them. Anyway, you can omit them. It's okay to not include a banana in your fertility smoothie, or if you never eat bananas. It truly is okay. There are other foods that can give you nutrients that bananas do, particularly potassium. Seek those out. Eat those instead. But in terms of fertility smoothies, you can omit them. You can substitute things like avocado, cooked whole oats or quinoa, what else? Extra of another fruit that the smoothie includes, or extra ice if you're wanting to create that same consistency, but it is fine to not eat bananas, don't worry. What else? Is it possible to eat all the greens you suggest? I have a thyroid health issue, particularly low thyroid. A lot of women with low thyroid come to us concerned about the amount of greens that we suggest, because the fertility diet really is high in greens, dark green leafy veggies, and cruciferous vegetables specifically. Women with low thyroid can actually eat greens and cruciferous vegetables. I don't know why it's still suggested that they shouldn't, but you should and you can. All you have to do is steam them, blanch them, or lightly saute them, wilt them into soups or stews. You just have to cook them to some degree, and it only takes a little bit of cooking. We suggest lightly cooking your greens so that the goitrogens from the raw cruciferous vegetables get broken down. When they're broken down, they won't interfere with the body's natural ability to synthesize thyroid hormones. And it won't interfere with the thyroid's ability to utilize iodine. So steam them. That's really it. We have a whole article. Actually, I wrote a whole article. It's pretty short on naturalfertilityinfo.com about having low thyroid and eating greens. So if you need more information, you can reach out to our team or go seek that out on our site. But if you have low thyroid, you can eat your cruciferous vegetables and greens, and you should. Just cook them a little bit. Another part of the fertility diet that often causes a little bit of concern is beans. A lot of people aren't accustomed to eating beans and legumes as much as we perhaps suggest, because oftentimes they'll say TMI, too much information, of the gas, how much gas they cause a lot of people who aren't used to eating them. So I have some tips for helping to reduce the amount of gas that they cause. It won't take it away entirely probably until your body gets used to consuming beans on a regular basis, but these tips will help. It's important to soak the beans for at least 8 hours, actually a little bit longer, or overnight. When you're done soaking them, throw away that soaking liquid and add new water to cook them. Cook them low and slow. Cook them for a long time, an hour or plus, until they're nice and tender. And when you cook them, you can add prebiotic foods like onions and garlic. Those things sometimes help with the digestive process. Not so much when they're cooked low and slow, but it can to a degree perhaps. Or when you're done cooking them, consider adding a little bit of onion or garlic. Start with small portions of beans. If you're not used to eating beans, or they cause you gas and that prevents you from eating them, start with small portions, just 1 or 2 times a week, and work your way up to eating more, to eating a whole serving eventually, several times a week. Hopefully that will help your body get used to them and accustomed to digesting them. I've heard that it can take around 2 weeks. I think I read that in a book at one point, or we had this conversation as a team. We talk about diet quite a bit, but I heard it can take about 2 weeks for the body to become accustomed to the beans before it seems like the gas goes away a little bit, and hopefully it does. But we want you eating beans. They're a great source of fiber and protein and lots of other things, micronutrients. So the next concern we have is usually, not usually, but is from vegetarians and vegans, because the fertility diet is all-inclusive and includes animal foods. A lot of times people will come to us and say, I'm vegetarian or I'm vegan, I can't eat that, can I still follow the fertility diet? And yes, you can. It's completely fine. My colleague Sarah Abernathy wrote a great article, 10 fertility diet tips for vegetarian vegans. That's on naturalfertilityinfo.com that we can link you to. But in a nutshell, you need to make sure you're getting enough protein, zinc, there's other stuff. Protein, zinc, calcium, my notes, iron, omega-3s, and you need to find plant sources of these foods. You'll want to be taking a whole food multivitamin probably if you're not already, and consider supplementing extra B12 and vitamin D. But again, the guide, 10 fertility diet tips for vegetarians and vegans, will give you even more information about all of these different areas and how to do that, and it makes suggestions for foods too if you're not sure. Or if you're new to being vegetarian or vegan, or thinking about going that direction with the way that you eat, this guide can be helpful. And there are a lot of vegetarian and vegan junk foods, so be vigilant when you go to the store. There are a lot of things that are still considered junk food, even though they're marketed as vegetarian or vegan and healthier, right? We have this idea that they're healthier, but they actually aren't. The last thing that recently came to my attention was about PCOS. Women with PCOS have come to us wanting to have fertility smoothies, but they happen to join our 10-day fertility smoothie challenge or see our fertility smoothie recipes, and they're filled with fruit. And a lot of women with PCOS are concerned about insulin balance and insulin levels, and can't or don't want to eat all of the fruits available to us. So the simple answer is choose low glycemic index fruits. They're out there. The other option is to make sure that your smoothie, if you have PCOS, it contains a really good balance of ratio of protein to carbohydrates. Make sure those are balanced. We have a guide. You ladies are asking like what, meaning like what low GI fruits. Please go to naturalfertilityinfo.com and look for the guide PCOS Fertility Smoothies. There's an entire list there, including recipes and how to make them PCOS friendly. It's great. Yeah, so seek that out. So anyway, you guys are great. Thank you for your praise. Thanks for joining today. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next week. All right, bye-bye.